Good afternoon, warriors. Welcome to the U movement. I am B, and we're still sitting in a lot of intense energy that has been the super full moon with a partial lunar eclipse. Yesterday I was bubbling high, and that went into illuminating some darker truths for me, and that seems to be the message, is putting a spotlight on some of the uglier stuff that we may not want to look at or address. So I did some writing that I wanted to share with you and then discuss afterwards. It's just short. Because, sorry, I'll get some Googles so that I can see. I think it's an important issue that I've not really talked about on my channel. And so I've done a lot of videos in the past outlining and explaining the abuse that I've experienced throughout my life, and the difference in the paradigm of the narcissist empath paradigm. If you resonate with either end of that spectrum, I do have a narcissist playlist that will be useful to you, whether you are an empath wanting to learn more, or whether you are in narcissistic characteristics and want to learn more. So do hop on to that playlist there to help illuminate in this full moon some truths. So, when does empathy become enabling? There is one line that drives me up the wall, which is, hurt people hurt people. I've been empathizing with abusers my entire life. I knew the trauma they had experienced, and I felt sorry for them. I felt sorry for them when they were lashing out at me. I felt sorry for them when they were abusing me. I felt sorry for them when they didn't feel sorry for me. I appealed to their empathy, not realizing they didn't have any. Long letters and pleas to have them stop hurting me and see the way out of their own suffering. I wanted to save them. Long silences would follow my attempts to reach them. Silence felt like oxygen slowly being removed from the room. Silence felt like torture. I stayed when I should have left. I loved when I should have ran. I empathized when I should have seen that my empathy enabled. I was told that being hurt meant they liked you, and so I let them hurt me. I gazed lovingly at the bullies, gossips, abusers, and users, the Goldens, the Stonewallers, the Ghosters, the betrayers, the liars, and most of all, the gaslighters. How hurt they must be to continuously hurt me. I no longer subscribe to hurt people hurt people. I was a hurt people, and I chose to help people. I no longer enable or worship the wounded. I feel sorry for their trauma and the choices they made. But I won't be a slave to the sacrifice I made. It's sad because they lose in the end. They lose my love, my kindness, and my care. I am the blessing that they chose to ignore. I am the one that's learned to walk out the door and finally be free. They'll learn all their lessons. It's left in God's hands. I'm no longer served for dinner as the sacrificial lamb. So yes, boom, boom, a little bit hard hitting there. There's a couple of things, in society Even if you look back from like the playground, a boy would hit a girl, and people would tell them, oh, that's because he likes you. So there's this kind of like indoctrination that abuse is somehow an example of love or kindness or care, when it's actually none of those things whatsoever. I have been very clear on my channel, and I have a playlist for trauma if you are suffering from trauma. And I understand that no matter which side of the paradigm you are sitting in, narcissistic energy and or empathic energy, both of those are exacerbated by trauma. They're the birthplace of trauma, and this is generational trauma that has gone on for years and years and years. And where the empath learns to self-sacrifice, the narcissist learns to sacrifice others. So these are not the same. And if we keep treating it the same, as in excusing the choices that narcissistic individuals make, or by this societal acceptance of hurt people, and shouldn't we empathize, that completely negates the other side of the spectrum, which are all the people that have been empathizing their entire life. The people that have been victimized by any number of abuses, whether they be sexual, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual. They have been empathizing with that other person their whole life. They have been holding on to secrets, holding on to shame, holding on to guilt, and everything else that's been placed upon them as the sacrificial lamb, as in here, hold society's wrongnesses and let us off the hook of these abuses. And this proliferates every area of society, not just in relationship, but the way that we worship all these celebrities that are starting to fall from grace. Oh my God, they were in a position of power and they abused their power. How could that be? Or look at the Me Too movement of all these women that have been sitting silent for decades after being harassed or abused or raped or any number of other abuses of power. Going out on a date, and how far can you push that? Oh, she's had a little bit too much to drink, I'm just going to push these issues. So this notion that this golden child club should be allowed to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and be excused for their behavior because they themselves have trauma, is not something that it sits well with me. It's not something that I can tolerate anymore. And as a light worker, I'm wearing my light worker shirt, as a light worker, I want to illuminate with this energy of the new moon the fact that conscious choices to do hurtful acts is not excusable. It is a choice. And yes, there is an element of, listen, I was trying to survive, and I understand that, and for that I give people the wiggle room that yes, I believe that everybody has the capacity to heal, regardless of what psychology or the DSM has to say. I believe that anybody with the will and the intention and the motivation can heal any behavior. If you can quit smoking, quit drinking, quit distractions and denials and delusions, then you can also quit lying and cheating and stealing and betraying and gossiping and all of those types of energies. They're no different. While they may be coping mechanisms, they're no different in an addictive behavior born of trauma that has the capacity to be healed. It just is not something that I'm going to tolerate, and I think it's in the tolerating, it's in a societal toleration of bad behavior, boys behaving badly, oh, they're just being boys. Or it doesn't just refer to necessarily boys. There's a lot of women out there that are behaving equally as badly. But as long as we sit back and say, I'm going to accept that, that is enabling. So the only way to actually address the issue is, to leave somebody to sit in their own mess. If you're constantly cleaning up other people's messes and constantly trying to twist yourself around as a pretzel or walking on eggshells, any of these types of expressions, what is happening is a codependent enabling of bad behavior. And so the actual best thing to do in trying to help them is to leave them. Is to say no more. I'm not tolerating that. That is, and let them sit in the energy and that's what this awakening process is kind of all about. Is seeing where you are toxic, how your interactions with toxicity and cycles of abuse are playing out, your role in it, and if you're in the role of accepting and tolerating and enabling, the only thing you can do is mission number one, which is save yourself and let them sit in their own energy and see what it's like for them to take a long, hard look in the mirror in that state of isolation, in that state of hermiting, which comes as part of this process. Because, if you're seeing a mass exodus out of your life, as spirit will arrange, that is part of the awakening process, is isolation and hermiting. So I can only imagine what it is like for somebody who is on the opposite end of the spectrum as I am, going through a spiritual awakening and having to sit in the shadow, sit in the dark. And I wonder if these people are not, in a sense, profound shadow workers being given a mission that's really quite incredible if they choose to accept it, which is the mission of shadow work, and to bring themselves out of shadow and into the light. It's kind of like deep undercover warrior work, where you've been in the darkness for an extended period of time, and now you have to find your way out. I have done a video in the past, because somebody asked me, what do you do when you find that you are an abuser, you are a narcissist, you're waking up to the reality that you're a liar and you're a cheat and you've been behaving in ways that are less than appealing and hurtful to other people. And I think that it's time to call it out and say, listen, these types of behaviors are cruel. Lying is cruel. Silent treatments are cruel. Ghosting is cruel. Gaslighting, cruel. Diminishing and devaluing, cruel. And the list goes on when it comes to all the ploys and the tools and the techniques that people who have been using narcissistic coping mechanisms need to sit in the reality that what they have done is cruel. And, that is going to require atonement and sitting and facing in that. You can't just go to a priest and say, forgive me, Father, I've been an asshole for the last 40 years. No, it doesn't work like that, despite what religion may have taught people. To become a person of the light requires getting yourself out of the dark and into the light. And the only way to do that is through right thought, right action, right deed. Go get a volunteer job and start working at a homeless shelter, or hop over and watch my video. I'll put a link to it at the end on what to do if you think, because I think that it is possible, 100% is possible, to go from being a hurt people that hurts people to a hurt people that helps people. With a spiritual awakening and with the power of spirit, anything's possible. Absolutely anything is possible. It just comes down to, are you willing to put in the work? That I am looking forward to see. I am looking forward to seeing some of these imbalances begin to right themselves again. These abuses of power, these abuses of love dynamics, these abuses of, masculine, feminine energies coming back into a harmonious place, which will make the planet a much safer, happier place for all people to be in, your children, your children's children, and generations to follow. I would like to see the abuses and the cycles and the traumas that have been passed down for the next thousands of years stop now. Stop them now. Stop them today. Every single person that has the capacity to extricate themselves out of abuse, whether it be tolerating it or doing it, has a profound impact on the world. And I say kudos to anyone, these people, and you hear about them, they're remarkable to me. They are my heroes. The gang members that escaped and now help others escape. The whistleblowers that blow the whistle on bad behavior in Hollywood. The people that stand up and say, I'm not taking this anymore, and I'm out the door. I'm of greater value than this. Everybody that uses their words and their actions towards creating change, and as Gandhi said, be the change. If you want to see change, be it. Be it. Be the change. Let's stop tolerating abuse, and let's stop abusing. And wow, that would be a profound impact on humanity. The age of Aquarius is upon us. Let's bring in some balance, some harmony, and some right action. If you need help, whether you're sitting on either end of this spectrum and are trying to deal with getting over the grief that comes from escaping from abusive situations, or you're trying to transmute behaviors that have been bad behaviors, and you want to live a different life and you want some assistance along the way, you can book a one-on-one Zoom with me. The way to do that will be in the description below. Just send me off an email to justbebeing@gmail.com, or hop on into the Spiritual Warriors support group and, pose a question. You can do so there anonymously, and people can answer the question for you. And or drop a question, a comment, anything like that you would like some assistance with. I want to see it from my vantage point. I want to see trauma get transmuted into something that brings about profound positive change in the world. Then everything that happened to me served a value. If that can happen, if I can bring that to the world, then my purpose makes sense to me. All the abuse makes sense to me, but it's not something I will ever tolerate again, because I will never enable somebody or accept anything less than the energy that I give out into the world, which is loving, kind, compassion, with a lot of empathy, but empathy from a distance. Thank you for all of the likes, the shares, and subscriptions. It really means the world to me. I'm enjoying seeing the channel grow, and it really means a lot to me knowing that I'm having a positive impact on your journey out there, because being a spiritual warrior and stepping through into the light from a long history of being in hell is profound warrior work. Peace out.